Hello, I am Artur Ortiz from Splendid Truth Media. This is episode 1 on our new series on logic. What is logic? Logic can be considered as the science of right or correct thinking. It is a science, ciencia, simply meaning an organized body of knowledge. Like all sciences, it has some first principles, namely some self-evident and elementary truths, some premises, which make up said science and which are hence considered non-demonstrable. For example, of the many first principles of logic, one of them is that the whole is greater than the part, another is that anything that is an effect must have a cause. St. Thomas Aquinas defines logic as the science and art which directs the act of the reason by which a man, in the exercise of his reason, is enabled to proceed without error, confusion, or unnecessary difficulty. For this reason, Aquinas goes so far as to describe logic as the art of arts. It deserves that honored title, he explains, precisely because it directs the acts of reason from which all the arts proceed. The Catholic Encyclopedia, building on this, states that we may expand St. Thomas's definition and define logic as the science and art which so directs the mind in a process of reasoning and subsidiary processes as to enable it to obtain clearness or order, consistency, and validity in those processes. In other words, logic, being the science of correct thinking, is thus the science by which we use our intellect and its mental processes to pursue truth in a consistent way without falling into erroneous thinking, such as logical contradictions and the like. What do we mean by correct thinking? As D.Q. McInerny states, correct thinking is simply to arrive at the truth of things. This presupposes that there is such a thing as an objective reality that is knowable. If I were to say that Abraham Lincoln is alive, would be just as false as if I were to say that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's son. Both would be false in their respective reality. It should be noted also that there are two divisions of logic. One is formal as opposed to material logic. Formal logic is concerned on the forms or structures of thinking, irrespective of the content of argumentation. In other words, formal logic considers the logical structure. Material logic, on the other hand, is focused on the actual content of thought and what they refer to. To give an illustration of formal logic, let's take the example of math. Pure math could be considered as a type of formal logic, since its truth is considered apart from what they may refer to. That 2 and 2 make 4 is true regardless of whether we're considering books, humans, or any other object for that matter. From the judgment all A is B, we may refer therefore some B as A, and the process is valid whether the original proposition be all circles are round or all lions are carnivorous. In material logic, on the contrary, we inquire into the content of the judgments or premises and endeavor to determine whether they are true or false. As McInerny points out, however, we cannot truly separate formal from material logic, namely pure logic, from its content. The reason being is because we can often say the right thing in the wrong way, and likewise we can often also say the wrong thing and put it in such a way as to make it sound right. There are other subjects of logic, subsects of logic, such as symbolic logic, namely the use of symbolic imagery to substitute or replace words. Transcendental logic focuses on the nature of determining what elements and factors in human thought are derived and dependent on experience, a posteriori, and therefore, and also those that are independent from experience, a priori. Applied logic is material logic applied to the natural sciences, or applied math in, say, engineering. Ayogic logic is applied to the study of law. Natural logic about logical applied to everyday events. So why study logic? Studying logic is very important if we are to engage in dialogue, in conversing with other people. Dialogue is a word that stems from dialogos. Dia, through, and logos, speech and reason. Similarly, a true logical argument is based on true premises and conclusions. Hence, the study of logic is at the root of all our correct thinking and reasonable conversations with other people. In a future video, we will describe what are the different classifications of logic. We will then, in subsequent videos, describe in further detail the specifics of logic and its structure. We will discuss things such as the notion of an idea, premises, conclusions, and the like. I hope you have a great day, and I hope this series really helps you to think logical and for you to know what logic is.